Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye Yasyat Viradavakradhya Parishadhya Parasatam Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamasraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Parasarjavataha Sarojamamalam Geetartha Gandhotkatam Nana Kyanaka Kesaram Harikata Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpadairaharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyat Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamsi Nasreyase. The song is great. We came up to Slokam number 31. Let's do a quick cap beginning from 28. Bhagavan says, "My dear Arjuna, the mighty-shouldered one, he who has understood how tendencies relate to actions and vice versa, realizes that it is only the impulses of senses that interact with the impulses of sense objects. Realizing this, he remains unattached to both the senses and their objects. Those who have not understood nature's abiding characteristic of selflessness do their actions with selfishness. The wise man must not allow the decline in the welfare of these ignorant fools who embrace selfishness." Sloka number 30. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nidasir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatachvaraha. Very important slokam. Offer all actions to me, embrace me, your indweller. Engage in battle without any desire, possessiveness, and mental agitation. Those who always practice this prescription of mine with faith and determination and without jealousy free themselves from bondage of action. They come up to that point. Sloka number 31. Now, the anasuyantaha, the without jealousy, sraddhavantaha, with determination, perseverance, enthusiasm, commitment, etc. Anasuyantaha, without jealousy. Why jealousy is very important. Without jealousy we should be. With Bhagavan also addresses Arjuna later. In the teaching it comes. He says, "I will teach this to you because you have no jealousy," he says. So beautifully, so lovingly. So let us think about it for a second. Why Bhagavan is saying without jealousy, absence of jealousy is very important to understand this teaching, to receive this, to be even able to receive this. And a person who has got jealousy is worse than a cancer. To cure jealousy, you can control anger to some degree, you can control senses, etc., etc. But no, when it comes to jealousy, it is an extremely difficult thing to get rid of, and even several births may be required. Even then, it will be very difficult. So that is one thing that we definitely don't want to even bud. Okay, and the way to do this is very, very simple. Okay, of course, Bhagavan's lotus feet, surrender that to him. Then everything is taken care of. To understand the importance of the absence of this enemy, the jealousy, just consider like you're acting in a play. And when you act in a play, you're given a role, right? And the role could be just a very subordinate role, very simple, small role that appears maybe for a minute or two. Now you don't have the role of the hero, and there are somebody else who's got occupying in the lots of participation in the drama. But suppose if you feel jealous that you're also equally capable and you didn't get the lead role or whatever, and you feel jealous about the actor, the main actor, how will the play be? Okay, remember that example because it's coming again later. That you should carry out the job that is allotted to you without really wanting or desiring the jobs that have been allotted to others. And remember, Bhagavan is the one who allots all actions to all of us. So moving on, Slokam number 31. Those who condemn and do not practice this prescription of mine, which is what Mai Sarvani Karmani Sanyasya Adhyatma Chetasa, right? Nirmamo Nirahankaraha, Nirafir Nirmamo Bhutva Yudhyasva Vikadachvaraha. That is a command. Okay? And he says, those who condemn and do not practice this prescription of mine have dull wisdom and weak discriminating ability. Understand that their lives are wasted. Yet vetat abhyasuyantaha nanutishtanti me matam sarvajnana vibhudaha vimudham stan vidhi nashtana chetasaha. Yet vedat abhyasuyanto nanutishtanti me matam sarvajnana vimudham stan vidhi nashtha nasechataha. The words and padangal are ye tu etat abhyasuyantaha na anutishtanti me matam sarvajnana vimudhan tan vidhi nashtane achetasaha. Tu, but ye who may my Etan madam, this prescription, this command, this instruction, this teaching that I just given, abhyasuyantaha, they condemn and they find fault with it, and they deride it. Okay, abhyasuyantaha, na anutishtanti, do not follow, do not obey, do not put that into practice. Okay. Sarvajnana vimudhan. They are basically fools whose brilliance, intelligence are basically dull. People with very dull wisdom. Okay? Dull wisdom, dullness and foolish. Achetasaha, not wise. Okay? Tan, them, nashthan, they actually obtain loss. They are the losers. Vidhi, no, it does. So that is the meaning by word. Again, those who condemn and do not practice this prescription of mine have dull wisdom and weak discriminating ability. Understand that their lives are wasted. Number 33. Even the disciplined and the wise are induced and driven by impulses of nature. All beings are controlled by nature. Why then is this attempt to control nature really? He's asking. Why are you worried? Everything is being controlled, right? By natural impulses. Why are you trying to control it? Why are you trying to interfere? That's what he's asking. Next one. Sadritam cheshtate swasyaha prakrutehe jnanavan api prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Sadrisam cheshtate swasyaha prakruter jnanavan api prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Jnanavan, the words are padangal. Sadrisam cheshtate swasyaha prakrutehe jnanavan api prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Jnanavan api, even the learned, the scholar, the highly disciplined one who is practicing spiritual disciplines, even them, swasyaha. Sir, could you put yourself in mute, please? I think it's star 6. Okay, star 6. So jnanavan api swasyaha, their own prakrutehe, with natural impulses, prakrutehe, natural impulses, their own natural impulses, Sadrusam, in full alignment with it, impelled by it. Cheshtate, they act, they behave, they conduct themselves according to their natural impulses. Bhutani, whatever is now appearing, whatever has been manifested, all the beings, Prakritin, in full alignment with the natural impulses, Yanti, they all act, they move about. So then when the thing is like that, then Nigraha, to control these natural impulses, Kim Karishati, what can it do? Why do you want to control it? It's not possible, it's not necessary, is what he's saying. Okay? Sadrusam cheshtate swasyaha prakrutehe jnanavanapi prakritam yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. 34. Matters pertaining to senses either attract or repel. One should not get entangled with these matters. They definitely are one's enemies. Very important to understand. Various matters that we talk about, objects, thoughts, emotions, whatever your mind is thinking, trust me, just analyze it, you'll find that they all pertain to some matter or another. Okay? So, these things, they either attract or repel. That is their nature. But one should not get entangled in that. Because these likes and dislikes, attractions and repulsions, all these things are his enemies, is what first he is describing. Okay? Indriyasyarthe ragadveshau vyavasthithau tayoho na vasam agacchete how hyasya paripantinau. Indriyasyarthe ragadveshau vyavasthithau tayorna vasamagacchethau hyasya paripantinau. The Padangal words are Indriyasya arthe ragaha dveshau, okay, dveshaha vyavasthithau tayoho vasam agacchete tau hi asya paripantinau, okay, in plural. So indriyasya, in each of the senses. Remember, we have 10 senses, 5 senses of action and 5 senses of perception. Karmendriyani and Jnanendriyani, right? We talked about that earlier. And each one of these senses are they in matters pertaining to that, in their objects, right? Each sense has a purpose, in their purpose and object. The ragaha, dveshaha. Raga means attraction. Dvesha means repulsion, hatred, right? Something that repels from. Vyavasthitaha. These senses, in every sense objects, there is likes and dislikes. Vyavasthitau. They are embedded in it. They are natural to it. They are part of it. Okay? Tayoho. To them. Vasam. Attracted to. Na agacchete. You should not go there. You should not go to them and get entangled in them. Tau. Why? Tau. They. He. For certainly. With absolute certainty. He. Asya. For him. Paripantinau. Direct enemies. He's saying. Okay? Indriyasyarthe ragadveshau vyavasthitau tayornavasamagachetau yasya paripantinau. Number 35. Doing one's own duties, swadharma, however unpalatable they may be, is superior to carrying out others' duties, however well they may be done. Carrying out one's duties yields fulfillment at death. Doing others' duties yields insecurity. Now, the example we spoke about in participating in a play, remember that. We all are carrying out the role allotted to us by Bhagavan. Somebody else may be given some other role. That is okay. Just observe it as an interplay between the impulses, his or her impulses and nature, and your impulses and nature. It's all an interplay of these various natural impulses. That's all it is. Bhagavan has given different works to different people. Some people may have fame, some people may have power, some people may not even be noticed. It's okay. So that's a mental attitude, the mindset that one needs to develop on a practical basis. That's what Bhagavan is talking about here. Okay. Sreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushtitat swadharme nidhanam sreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. Sreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushtitat swadharme nidhanam sreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. The words padangal are Sreyan swadharmaha vigunaha paradharmat swa anushtitat swadharme nidhanam sreyaha paradharmo bhaya avaha. Here, one way people explain is Bhagavan is talking to Arjuna, who's refusing to fight, and he's a Kshatriya, a warrior class, protect the people, so his duty is to go and fight. Yes, that is correct. The same thing applies to you and me in our walks of life. Whatever work that we have and that has been given to us by Bhagavan, I should not desist from doing it. That Karbaneva Adhikara says, the same thing coming in a different way. And I should not prefer to do somebody else's work because that work is actually better, that work is actually more palatable, more interesting, or whatever it is. Work that comes to me with prasada buddhi, remember the buddhi yogam, with prasada buddhi, I must do it and offer that as and worship to Bhagavan. That's the thing that Bhagavan is talking about here. Now, Swadharma is a very, very important concept. Not only concept, it's a very important truth. And there is also, where we talked about infinite, literally thousands and thousands of yogam available, pathways to reach the Lord. And Swadharma is also one of them, Swadharma Yogam. You can take it that way. What is that? You can practice that. There are two types. One is Swadharmam. What is my own dharma is really only one. To share, to give the love that I have, the unconditional love that I have, which is my Atma, which is my indweller, share that with everyone, expand, and in return, receive the same unconditional love from everything I touch. This is what Suryan is doing, the sun is doing, which we will see in the next Adhyayam, okay? And so that is, the fundamentals for Dharma is to help ever, hurt never, to love all, to serve all, to give love and to receive love, to act in absolute consonance with the command and full alignment with the unconditional love that is within each one of us. That is Swadharma. Now, that unconditional love that has given us this life, making our body move about here and there, that is in conduct of this body in this world. We are also given certain other duties. Could be the duty of a husband, duty of a wife, father, mother, son, whatever it is, right? Or a worker at a job, or a driver in a car. It doesn't matter. Whatever work that's been given to us at any given moment, that becomes our Swadharma also. Okay, so there are two ways to understand Bhagavan's teaching here. Oh, I'm sorry, I went ahead of myself. I haven't explained the meanings of the words and Padangal to you, but anyway, I think you got the gist of it. Let's go through the Padangal and words now. The words are Sreyan, Swadharmaha. I think I went through that. So let's go through the meanings now. The thing is Swanushtitate. Okay, Swanushtitate is Su Anushtitate. That means something that is anushtita means something that you practice, conduct, bring it into practical experience. The su means very good, done very well. So su anushtitata means something that is done very well. Okay? Paradharmate, that means somebody else's dharma, right? Somebody else's allotted work. I cannot go and follow the dharma of a kshatriya or a king, right? Because that is not my station in life. So, even if I do the job very well, okay, paradharmate su anushtitate, even better than that is vigunaha. Vigunaha means even though it is unpalatable, it is not really that great a piece of work, and what we call sometimes in practical life as very boring, not interesting, frustrating, whatever way you want to call it, right? That vigunaha, that even if it has that swadharmaha, my own dharma, my own allotted work, Shreyan is better. So, my own allotted work, swadharma, vigunaha swadharmaha, is Shreyan. Paradharmat is anushtitate. Why? Then, second thing is, Bhagavan says, swadharme nidhanam shreyaha. Nidhanam means at the time of death, at the time of dissolution, at the time when the manifested appearance disappears. That is called nidhanam. At that time, swadharme shreyaha, the fact that I've been doing my own dharma, my own allotted work, is actually very, very beneficial. Very beneficial. That means it brings you closer to the lotus feet. That is what shreyaha means. Paradharmaha, when I keep on doing somebody else's work and not doing my own work, what happens at the time of death? Bhaya vagaha. It creates big, great fear. Okay? Insecurity. Because if I don't do my job, then you become insecure. That's what he's talking about. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat svanushthitate swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. So, Bhagavan now has explained about work and aspect, what is really work is, right? Your work and yajna and all that. Everything has been talked about, and people with disciplined mind and people without a disciplined mind, commitment with shraddha and without shraddha, all the things, everything has been talked about. Now, Arjuna has a question, and the same question that I'm sure all of us will have. And his question comes in number 36. And he says, Vashneya, even though he does not want to incur sin, what is it that forcibly pushes man to commit sin? Right? Simple question. Yes, I want to be at the lotus feet. I want to reach you only. But how come I'm not able to do it? What is it that's pushing me away from it? That is what he's asking. So that you can understand the problem definition here. So, Arjuna Uvacha, Atha Kena Prayuktoyam Papam Charati Purushaha Anichannapi Vashneya Baladiva Niyojitaha. Arjuna Uvacha, Atha Kena Prayuktoyam Papam Charati Purushaha Anichannapi Vashneya Baladiva Niyojitaha. The words Patangal are Arjuna Uvacha. Atha Kena Prayuktaha Ayam Papam Charati Purushaha Anichin Api Vashneya Baladi Iva Niyojitaha. Vashneya, the one who is born in the Vrishni lineage. This is Krishna. Krishna is from the Vrishni lineage. So Vashneya, Krishna, one who is born in the Vrishni lineage. Atha. But, after all, however, yes, that's all correct, but something has happened before, and then subsequently, in spite of all this, that's the kind of meaning of the word atha. However, but, okay, in addition to all this, he's saying, atha anichinnapi, even though I don't desire it that way, even though I don't want it that way, without wanting it that way, I am this Purushaha, this human being, this Purushan, Kena, with what? By what? Prayuktaha, impelled and pushed and pulled. Balat, with huge force. Okay? Niyojitaha iva, and something that pulls you and pushes you and puts you inside something, right? That niyojitaha means to put inside. Papam, sin, charati, he does. Okay? He acts, he charati, he does. He goes about doing papam. So the meaning is, by impelled and pulled and pushed by what? Even though he doesn't desire it, that he's being pushed into committing sin. That's basically the meaning. Arjuna uvacha atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichinnapi vashneya baladiva niyojitaha. Sri Bhagavan uvacha. Bhagavan answers that fundamental, very important question that separates us from the lotus feet. Bhagavan says, it is desire, Arjuna, and anger. Both are born from Rajoguna. They have insatiable appetite and leave great wrongdoings in their wake. Know them to be your enemies. Kama yesha, krodha yesha, rajoguna samudbhavaha, mahashano mahapapma, viddhayenam iha vairinam. Sri Bhagavan uvacha, Kama yesha, krodha yesha, rajoguna samudbhavaha, mahashano mahapapma, viddhayenam iha vairinam. The words Padangal are Sri Bhagavan uvacha. Kama yesha, krodha yesha, rajoguna samudbhavaha, mahashanaha, mahapapma, viddha yenam. Okay, viddhi yenam iha vairinam. Yeshaha, this is kamaha, desire. So he's asking, by what is being pulled? Kena is answering here, Yesha. This is kamaha, kamam, desire. Yesha, krodha, this is anger. And where does anger and desire come from? Rajoguna samudbhavaha. They are born in Rajogunam. Rajogunam is the tendency that is aggressive, that is tending one to act all the time, right? That push and pull, it's like pressing the accelerator in driving a car, right? That aspect is Rajogunam that each one of us have. And that results in desire, and that also in anger. And Bhagavan continues, they are mahashanaha, they are insatiable. Okay? However much you feed them, they are not satisfied. They want more. Mahashanaha. Mahapapma. They also, in their wake, they do lots of wrongdoings. Okay? That hurtful things, harm they cause. Iha, in this world, yenam, these two, this, vairinam, enemies, your enemies, viddhi, no. Okay? Now, go back to Bhagavan's earlier teaching when it is, I think, Sankhya Yoga, try 62 or 68, one of those numbers, okay, where Bhagavan talks about Dhyayet Vishayan Pumsaha, that begins like that. And so that gives you the origin of how desire, where desire is born, how desire is born, okay, where does it come from? So we need to understand that very carefully. Now, having understood that, okay, next thing is, this desire is a major enemy that we have. As Paramacharya described when I was fortunate to
read this very early on in my life, and it is like, desire is like throwing a ball against a wall, and it comes back as anger. An unfulfilled desire results in anger. You remember that. Any time an anger comes, if you analyze it, it is always an unfulfilled desire. That means you might want things to happen certain way, and it may not happen that way. You may want your child to do something, the child may not do it that way. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. It is always your way and your desire of doing and getting something in a particular manner, whatever it is, that doesn't get fulfilled, immediately anger comes. Okay? Now, if the same unfulfilled desire is directed against your boss, for example, or somebody more powerful than you, then that becomes bhayam, fear. So both fear and anger arise out of desire. Desire is the root cause. Okay, please remember that. And now mahashanaha. Mahashanaha means whatever happens, the desire, when it gets fulfilled, what happens? It wants more. It's a classic, this is how greed is born. A desire can never be satisfied, never be satisfied. It always takes another form or wants more of it. Okay? So that mahashanaha. And what happens? The desire comes, then anger comes. When somebody is angry and behaves in a crazy, the correct word in English is a beautiful word, is crazy. You become crazy. When you become crazy, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're saying, you don't know how you're behaving, you don't know whom you're hurting, with all the things that takes place, right? And mahapapma, it always leaves destruction in its wake. Lots of wrongdoings. It hurts people, it harms people, right? So remember this one, he said iham, enam, iha, vairinam. That means he's saying, now you're talking specifically about kama. Okay? He says, know that this desire is your enemy. Remember that. He says, enemy means what? Something that robs you of peace. That's something that robs you of your own true nature, which is unconditional love. Right? So I forget that. I forget that I'm unconditional love. I forget that I'm actually selfless. I become selfish. Right? So that's your enemy. So this is the beautiful teaching from Bhagavan. Please reflect on that. And these are all treasures and gems that I don't know how many births that we have taken to be able to even hear this kind of teaching. And so we must be very, very grateful to the Lord who is teaching us so kindly, and as gratitude to Him, think about His teaching just for a minute or two, quietly and calmly. With that, we will conclude for today. Let me repeat the slokam and we'll conclude it. Sri Bhagavan uvacha kamayesha krodhayesha rajo guna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidhiyenam iha vairinam. Okay. Closing prayers. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.